When Gary was a young fella, he was on the run. From school, from poverty, from police, into the company of men in crime who promised wealth, power, acceptance, and the protection he never had growing up. His mother preached the Bible and a life on the straight and narrow, but a young Gary was interested in only escaping the pain he knew. A life of crime was his way out. But crime would lead to a dance with death, to the hell of jail, to watching his closest friends die by the gun too young. Pushed too far, he finally found his soul behind the bars of a prison cell and knew he had to make a choice.
I have decided to share my story because I think that I had contributed to a lot of crime, a lot of persons getting involved in crime, and even the situation in Laventille with the disorder, I contributed to that in somehow. And since I changed my life, I decided that I was going to give back to society, give back to the youths, give back to the young people, and make a difference because I was part of the problem, so now I want to be part of the solution.
What could make a man become a gangster? What type of strength would it take to walk away from that life when it was all you knew? Gary Grant has a past filled with pain. Once a hardened criminal who ran the roughest streets, he found his soul in the four walls of a prison and now strives to be a better citizen. Gary was born and raised in Laventille. His life of crime started at a young age.
Well, my mother was very strict. She used to beat for everything. And she never used to want us to mingle with the other youths in the community. She used to tell us to stay inside the house, that we have enough brother and sister to play with. So I don't have to go outside. So, things like parties and those sort of things, I couldn't get to go to those type of things. And I used to always feel like I'm missing out. So I used to see my friends going out, I just see them wearing the latest brands. I just see them flying kite, and if I had to do those things, I'd just steal an opportunity to do it, wait until she's not home, or wait until she's sleeping or something to go and do it. But if I get caught, it blows. That your baby, Brandon? Oh, I want to know. I think that what really caused me to gravitate towards a life of crime is, peer pressure, wanted the attention, wanted to be popular, wanted to receive the kind of attention that I saw the guys who were behaving bad in school, who were disrespectful to teachers, who were gambling, who were fighting. When I look at them fellas, I used to find that real cool, the kind of respect them commanding in school, all the girls on them, they have all the friends, so I used to look at that type of life. This year I used to have all the activities, marbles, cricket, football. Well, I started off robbing like sales van, and then after we started off like robbing business places, and then we started to rob gas stations, and then we started to rob persons that were selling drugs, and it just started to escalate and get worse and worse. I remember climbing these trees when I was small. Sweet mangoes. Sometimes when we done plan a robbery, here is the place we used to wait for the hot car, the stolen car to come to pick us up for us to go and perform the robbery, and then we used to come back right here and after the robbery itself. So here was like the mega of activities, here was the place where everything used to happen. This is a picture that was taken of me in prison, and this is what I call classification. When I come in prison and I get convicted, they just put on your blue suit. The blue suit I have on here is like the prison uniform. I was 24 years at this time, and I had now been convicted for 25 years for 2 counts of robbery, armed robbery and aggravation. After serving that last 5 years in prison, which was the last time I was in prison as a prisoner, I think that is where I really transitioned from a gangster to a pastor. When you're in prison is a different world. It's one of the most horrifying places that a human being could ever be made subject to. I've seen person go into prison and come back out in a body bag. I've seen person come in jail as men and end up girls getting raped in prison. I've seen person come in jail with the 2 hands and 2 feet and leave prison getting the hand and a foot break up. Prisoners, I see people and all come in prison with 2 eyes and end up with 1 eye because somebody stabbed them in the eye. Because when it have fights in jail, whether it's between prisoners or prisoners and officer, it has been real brutal fights. Because in jail, it's not no gun for you to defend yourself. So it might be a gunman on the outside shooting people when they reach in jail. It's hand fight or somebody with a chucker to chuck you up. Prisoners is like a war zone, is a horrible place. And it's not a place that I would like to see any young man go. Because, as I say, you could go in prison one way and come out of prison in many different ways, or don't come out at all alive. The first time that I committed a robbery, I was frightened. But what happened is that every time I committed an act of crime and I got away, I became more bold. I became more brazen, and then I became fearless. But the person who I used to commit crime with, he used to follow a certain religion. And he used to say, well, white people is Babylon, and that rich people is Babylon. And God put us here to execute judgment upon all evildoers. So when I going out and robbing people, I used to feel like I doing a good. So I used to have my testament in my back pocket. I used to pray sometime before we go and commit robberies, because we think, well, I at that time, 17 years, thinking that there's something right I doing. Yes, I see you, boy.
I too ain't see you, yes, and you because right and you don't know what I mean, I don't see you. But let's pass up on what you're building.
Yeah.
What build about you? Respect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good day, everybody. Good day.
My mother was very disappointed when I started to live a life of crime, because she would say that I am not the son that she brought up, because I had 2 other brothers and neither of them got involved in crime. I was the only one that got involved in crime. So when she started heard about the things that I was doing, she was very displeased. As a matter of fact, she used to say, I'm not your son. So I remember a day that I was home and I was watching, I think, TBN. And then I started hearing some gunshots. So I left home and I walked up the road here and I went to see where the gunshots coming from. When I walked down in the gallery, I saw his head bent back and all his brain on the ground. Somebody snuck up behind him with a gun and blew off his head with a shotgun.
That night, it changed. It changed everything. You know how it was around Christmas too? It was like Christmas wasn't.
Sometimes I just feel kind of guilty. I always feel guilty about that. I always feel like it's probably I to blame too for his death. I always feel guilty about it.
Life of crime.
Life of crime really don't pay.
It don't pay.
It don't pay.
Yeah. And that is just to show you the example how the little ones is what the big ones.
Yeah. One of the choices that I made that I'm most proud of pertaining to the life that I'd lived before was the choice not to retaliate when my close friend got killed. At that point in time, I was very angry. I felt that I owed it to him to retaliate, because if he was alive, he would have done the same thing for me. But then on the road of change, I studied that if I tried to retaliate, or if I did retaliate, it would have started a cycle that would have never ended, because I would have probably shot them, they would have come back and shoot me, and then would have continued to escalate with the war in the community. So I choose not to retaliate. I choose not to try to avenge his death and to walk away. And that was one of the hardest decisions that I was to make, was one of the choices that kept me on the pathway to where I am now. Well, what I'm a dream, or the dream that I had, the vision for my life, who I wanted to become was a police. I wanted to be a police officer. I used to watch a lot of movies on TV with police, and I just liked the idea of being a police officer. So I wanted to be a police. But as I said, when I went to Laventille, I allowed myself to be diverted because of peer pressure, wanted to be popular. So if I was to go back in time, I would follow the dream that I had. I would do all that it takes in order to become a police officer. My car handle kind of break this, so I had to open from the back. living the life of crime, cross path with a lot of people. Plenty of them I met in prison, plenty of them I met from other associates. And it's so much I can't even say how much of them died now, but I know it's a whole lot. Plenty of them got killed and died while living a life of crime. Well, sad being here. I don't even want to stay here too long. In this place of death. Here's how it is. I feel happy that I changed my life knowing the amount of persons that I grew up with and was involved in crime, and now they're lying down in a grave. They never get to realize the full potential of their life. Most of them died young, some in the early 20s, some leaving family and loved ones behind. I'm fortunate to be alive. When my mother died, we weren't on talking terms. We had some small dispute and we didn't really talk to each other for a little while. And then I remember it was about 1:00 in the morning and I got the call that she died. And I was shocked because I never get the opportunity to make up for that difference for us to start back talking. So it affected me a lot. I remember before she was buried, I went to the funeral home and I spoke to her and told her that I was sorry, and I cried over her coffin and I spoke with her and I bid her goodbye, right? And that was something that stuck with me because sometimes we take people for granted. You take them for granted that they are alive and they are well and you always feel that you have time. But with that situation with my mother, I realized that none of us own time, and tomorrow is none of us, belongs to none of us. I regret the fact that I disappointed my mother, although she made tremendous investment in my life and I didn't turn out to be the person that she wanted me to be. That is something that continues to live on and haunt me, even up to today. She herself is buried somewhere in this cemetery here, too, as well. I'm not sure exactly where is the spot, but it's something that I regret, not doing the right thing and listening to her. If I listened to her, I wouldn't have had all the bad and horrific experiences that I had. I wouldn't have went through a lot of the bad things that I went through because I didn't listen to her.
This is where you end up when you just want to listen.
I don't listen.
You know, so when you don't listen, you end up like this. And let me tell you something, I'm 46, dog. This is my backyard. I born and I grew up right down the road there. The first dove I shoot and Rose wasn't down here. First kite I fly was here. And to what I see now, long time, very rare you'll see a funeral. But today, every day you're seeing 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 funerals per day. You know why? They want to make here in New York. Live fast, die young.
Yeah.
You understand? You don't want to grow up the way how the old people teach we. Do the right thing. You understand? Let me get back the way of how we start. We grandfathers and toil in the soil to create something they call Trinidad Tobago. The best country they have in the Caribbean. And what they're trying to do. What are they trying to do, boy? You understand? Live old, have grandchildren, great-grand, see them and be happy. You understand? Don't be a fool and end up here, boy. Have a nice day and take it from me. G tell all of that, right?
G.
Yeah.
All right, G.
Take all that time.
remember coming out of prison, and when I came out of prison, I was unemployed. And I got the opportunity to be employed selling ice cream, then started to clean people's yard. Also, we used to go and do motivational speeches with Vision Mission, talking to schools and stuff. And sometimes we would get $100, sometimes we get $150. It's just passage to go. But I continue to be patient, continue to exercise the change that I came out of prison with. And in spite of the challenges that I experienced, because I had a family at the time, I had 3 children that was looking to me to provide for them. I had a wife that was looking for me to provide for them. But yet still I didn't have the mother accustomed to having plenty money for my life of crime. But because I've changed my life and changed my associates and changed the dealings, I decided that in spite of what it is, the challenges that I face, that I should continue to live a positive life, although I might not have all the money that I would need now. The meeting tomorrow that you emailed about, that is for you. You are going to attend that meeting? Right now we are at the Ministry of National Security Citizen Security Program. Specifically, we are in my office. My title is the Assistant Community and Youth Specialist. Well, I'll call you back in a bit for some more information. Okay, bye. So I want to tell the young people out there, especially those that might be involved in crime, that there is hope, there is second chances. I work at the Ministry of National Security now, something that might have seemed impossible, but because I choose to change my life, and not only change my life, but maintain it, because it has been going on over 10 years now, or over 17 years now that I've changed my life, and I continue to be consistent with it. And because of that, I'm now working in the Ministry of National Security, and I've been given a second chance by the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
How are you going, man?
Good.
Where's your emancipation?
I see you come out all prepared and dressed.
Yeah, well, you know it is. Right. Well, Monday morning.
Yeah.
So just, how your weekend was?
It was good. We did some interviews and stuff. It was good. When I go into YTC or any other prison and I see young people, not as a prisoner again, but of course to go and have a talk with them, I just feel sad. It brings back memories. It reminds me of my time being incarcerated at 17 years and in a prison, locked away. Not being able to enjoy a youthful life because these young lads are in prison when they're supposed to be enjoying life. So when I see these young men or young boys in prison, incarcerated, my heart goes out for them.
I have with me here today, this is my supervisor. From where I work with the Citizen Security Program, CSP. What we do social intervention in what you'll call high needs communities, or what I like to refer to as hotspot. And Gary Grant, his name is Gary Grant, he's my immediate supervisor. Mr. Gary Grant.
I grew up, born and grew in Laventille. And I built a reputation with fighting in school. So I started to fight to keep that reputation, to keep that name, because I get a name now by fighting, and now it's girls, now it's friends, people want to be around me. I'm a ranker in school now. So I stopped studying schoolwork. Me at the time in schoolwork again, I break in beach, I disrespecting teachers. So I started getting real trouble until at the age of 17, I went again a fight with a guy, ended up robbing him, and ended up in prison at the age of 17. How many of you believe that crime don't pay? I'm going to tell you something, crime does pay. Because hear what? I had 3 daughters. And here how crime pay me. I couldn't be in the hospital to support my girlfriend at the time, to see my child born. I was in jail locked up, and my child born. That was how crime paid. It pays in ways that we don't want. I don't know how long you all have in here, but whatever time you have in here, use it wisely. Use it positively. So that when you leave here, you will have the strength to continue to do what is right. And I'm going to tell you something. Once you decide to do what is right, you will get help. People will gravitate to help you. God will send people to connect you. You will get help. So thank you very much. Whilst talking to these young men in prison or in YTC, it's very motivating and moving to see how they would listen to you attentively, to hear them speak about the different dreams and plans that they have for their life. Because let me face it, no person was born a criminal. So it's hopefully that the plans that they will have the opportunity now to implement it, because in talking to them, they want to do a lot of positive things when they come out of prison. So how long are you now? You said 4 years?
Yeah, going on 4 years.
Okay. Right, so what you intend to do when you come out?
Well, my main objective when I come out, I want to see if I get a piece of land before I come out. You know, so as I hear my parents on the outside, seeing as best as I could take a piece of land for me, because my main objective is to go out there and open a pig pen or a chicken farm when I go out now.
Right.
You know, and start off with that, and after that, just expand from there.
Okay.
I just tell myself sometimes why it is hard was to wait till I reach in this position to think like this now. You know, because I see plenty of people get hurt within my family range, and you know, I lost my brother because of certain mistakes I make. You know, my next brother I know I nearly lost him. They tried to burn down my house plenty times. You know, they shoot up my house plenty times. You know, and that is on the earliest when it was happening, you know, that's been a raging man away.
Yeah.
You know? And seeing my mother coming and the visit and crying constantly and, you know, pleading with me away. To get over it and forget it and whatever the case may be now. It hurt me plenty now. And I believe sometimes that you take this who hard now. It had to get hurt in a certain way now. In order to understand what it is really, what life is really about now. You know, and I feel like I get hurt in that kind of way. So I do really want to see that tears come out my mother eye again now, because that's the main person in my life right about now. And if I lost she due to my mistakes, I will care bear with it now. I wouldn't see no turning back from the road I will go down now. You know, so I don't want to involve myself back in that life and, you know, go down that road again, because it will not no coming back.
So you keep it up.
Yeah.
You keep it up. Good to meet you, man.
Yeah, same to you.
God bless you.
Same to you.
Yeah. Yeah, brother. Well, I'm gonna call my ex-wife. We don't really have a very good relationship, but and we haven't spoken for a long time. But I'm gonna call her now. She was an integral part of my life when I was involved in crime. She was very helpful in the sense that when I was in prison, she was the person that used to come and visit me. She used to organize bailers to take me out of prison. So she was there for me in those times. I don't think probably I was the best husband or boyfriend at the time. We probably were together for about probably 10 years. I haven't spoken to her in over 5 years since she migrated. I would like to tell my ex-wife Lisa that I'm sorry for all the hell and frustration that I put her through, for not being a good father to our children and not being a good husband to her, and for all the bad experiences she had, especially with the police, being up and down in the prison, having to find money to bail them out of prison. I know that I cannot change the past, but at least we could probably try and have a better relationship now, even as friends. Hi, good morning, Lisa. Hello, you hearing me?
Hello. Yes, I'm hearing you.
How are you today?
Excuse me?
We're on camera and I said we are recording now, right?
Okay.
Yeah. How are you today?
Good.
Good. Good to hear your voice, man. I know we haven't been communicating for a little while, but I'm glad that you take the call and that we could have a conversation today. Them children, Akina and Hannah and Chantal, when last you heard from them?
Every day.
And how are they going and the grandkids?
They're good.
Okay. You know what they're involved in right now? The children?
Yeah.
What?
099 is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Like she take off her phone. Cause I ain't picking up no internet on it, and when I call there. I tell her we do really have a good relationship. Yes, I ain't talk to she and now calling she to talk to her now. She probably seen it as being hypocritical and just wanted to do it because of this. Me and my daughters, we don't really have a very good relationship. We communicate. They call me, I call them. If they have need of anything, they would call me. I would try my best to provide it. But instead, we have a very good father and daughter relationship. We don't. They think that probably I didn't spend enough time with them and that I neglected them, and they felt that I gave more attention to my wife and things like that. So we don't really have the type of relationship that I would have desired to have with my daughters. Right? It's something that I'm trying to fix, but we haven't gotten there yet 100%. So I'm trying to, with my son, we have a more closer relationship, and I'm trying to be a better father to him and don't make the mistakes that I made with my daughters. I remember being in prison, and whilst I was in prison, a guy who lived Laventille Road, Sawa, that's where Christine lived before, he told me, when last you see your daughter getting real big, and he told me about her, and he told me that probably I should try to get in contact with her. So when I came out of prison, I did get in contact with her, and it was easy to communicate with her because she's very loving, she's very kind. I don't know if I might have been so forgiving if my father neglected me for most of my childhood and then coming to try to be part of my life, but it's so easy to communicate with her. She's she know to exercise forgiveness.
Well, as a child, I grew up, it was nice. Without him, it wasn't really like I was missing something because my mom had someone with her, which is this person take care of me from baby come up till I get big. And he used to act out the rules, so it wasn't hard like if I was alone or my mother was alone. We had two people to support us. And then when I get to my mother come and tell me that she see my father and he wanted to get to know me, I think I was excited because I know I had other sisters, so I wanted to meet them. So when I get to meet him, I think it was nice. Then I get to find out he's a pastor and he had a church.
I have 3 children moms. First mom, Kathleen, that is Christine's mother. We had a brief relationship, and she brought forth my first child, which is our daughter, Christine.
I'll be honest, I wasn't angry at him, but I was angry. Just being angry that he was not there for me. But I was not really angry at him. I was more angry at my mom because she always, moms and children fathers, how it does be sometimes it doesn't really be, they doesn't be close like when they break up. So I was more angry at my mother because she always used to not give me good advice about him or tell me nothing good about him. She always used to bring him down in a kind of way now. And I find as a mother, you're supposed to tell your daughters or any child you have where your father was like, and you know that kind of way. If you was not wrong him now, your mother supposed to be able to tell the way it is good, what went on in her life and what your daddy was like and what he do. And sometimes I used to feel like if she used to keep me away from him.
Christina, I want to say that I'm sorry for not being involved in your life. As a father, I'm sorry that I never really have been a real father to you in that sense and been involved in your life from a young person. I can't really say, I can't give a reason that will be justified for not being in your life. But I hope that we might be able to make up for the past, but at least we can make whatever future that we have together worthwhile. So I'm looking forward to playing a part and being a part of your children's life, which is my grandchildren, and to be even a father to them too as well, and to continue to be a father to you.
Well, what I have to say is that I just miss him. I just miss my brother because I don't see them much. It has some things in life I just want to talk about, you know, as father and daughter, but if so far, I just miss the church because I like when we in church and, you know, that's about it. Not much, but I would like to maybe pick up where we left off now, you know? And I want him to be more around his grandchildren more so I get to know him more. Yeah.
And this afternoon I'm going to meet my father. We're going to talk with him and I'm going to ask him some questions as to why it is he wasn't involved in my life. Because these are questions that I had that caused me to be angry towards him. Because my mother used to tell us that he don't love us, that he not interested in us. And she used to tell us that we have no father. And this is something that used to make me angry and really bothered me from a child. So I'm getting the opportunity this afternoon to go and talk to him and to find out what it is really transpired, why it is he wasn't involved in our life. And if he did love us or, well, me and my brothers or not.
My grandfather he's nice. I just would like him to meet his grandchildren though.
I wasn't aware of all of this.
Yes, granddad go mommy church.
And you always meet each other and stuff?
Yes.
But this is news to me. I didn't even know that. I'm surprised to hear you.
Yeah.
You didn't say that. Okay. So what you all want to be when you all grow up? What do you want to be?
I want to be a vet.
Why you want to be a vet?
To take care of sick animals.
Okay, that's good. And what do you want to be?
A nurse.
A nurse? That's good, man. And Mr. Jaden, what you want to be, sir?
A police.
Why you want to be a police?
And that should be good.
Why?
Why you want to shoot people?
That's okay, no problem.
You gotta be careful with that, you know. You just can't shoot people just so, you know. You know that? But I nothing, you will be a police officer. Right? I would like to find out from my father what it is really happened between he and my mother and why it is he wasn't actively involved in our life. So these are questions that I always had in my head, never had the opportunity to ask him, never really had the opportunity to sit down and have a good conversation with him and to talk about these things because a boy child especially needs his father. The last time I was here probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Could be a little more, not sure. But that has been a while. Even the house itself changed. Before the house was a wooden house, I see concrete now upstairs and downstairs, so. Oh gosh, boy, that's still easy. Woo!
But you need exercise, boy.
Ah!
A long time I see you.
Long time ago,
Yeah, I know. You looking good, ain't getting old at all, boy. You have to be good all the time, you understand?
Still looking muscular and
all the time, right?
I had this big belly, look how yours flat.
Oh.
exercise. Do some exercise and you'll get through.
But looking
Understand?
real good.
That is all it is.
How old is now, sir?
Well, who goes about 60, some 60, 65.
Wow. You're looking good, you're looking real good.
For the age,
looking good, yeah.
You
Looking
want to
real
see
good for the
exercise,
age.
just keep your exercise keeping you.
Yeah.
Everything doing normal. Well, my mom, Carol's mom, I know she used to say things about me that ain't the right things that she's supposed to say. She used to tell them all the other things about me, about all the things that I know about, just to keep them away from me. And then she don't want them to go. I can't go up to see the children when I'm ready. She started to tell me, don't come up here. You don't have no children, you know, this kind of way. But I still used to go. I never turn away. Still used to go until, well, I get fed up and I just kind of ease myself off. You understand? So then that was the whole story about having the separation with, just then seeing them as they're supposed to. So I know, well, he are wrong with us and he's right. I thank God for him. Thank God for him. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't. Don't cry. You good?
You know, when I was young, I used to always want to know why it is my mother was so angry. I mean, every time, like if we asked her about our father, she would say, all your father don't love all you have no father. And I used to always wonder why it is she would make those kind of statements and I remember my father coming to visit us home and both of them arguing and he bought some items first and she threw it back at him and she would argue with him and he would leave. I remember him coming to school that time and meeting me and my brother and give us money and talk with us and thing. I felt really proud and happy to see him. But I always wondered why it is she was so angry with him and didn't want him to be part of our life. Because I mean, August vacation, that time that you might go by family and spend time with them and you never get the opportunity to really spend time with our father, me and my other brothers. And I just always wonder why, and because of the things that she used to be saying about him, I grew up having some resentment towards him at one point in time. I was starting to believe what she was saying because, I mean, we didn't have the interaction and then it's something you're hearing over and over again. So it really caused me to have some kind of resentment and seeing other children with a father and stuff like that. And, and then having an opportunity and then having a stepfather who wasn't the best father or best role model for our father neither. So, I mean, it was hard.
So it once, I know he went across the road there and he was drinking and come home, jump the guys and then bring him here. And he started to get on bad, real bad. You have to hold him down. You have to hold him down. Throw water on him. Put petrol in the nose to keep him. To break the alcohol from him. Keep him down. Start to get on bad. You have to sit down on him all kind of thing. Yeah, because I alone couldn't hold him. Whosoever bring him, you have to sit down with me and help him, hold him down. And although his friends and him still ask him.
I haven't spoken to my father for a long time and I can't even remember having a lengthy conversation with him. And having spoken to him now, and being able to express my feelings to him. I feel that I've gotten some closure. I might not have gotten all the answers that probably I had in my head because I had preconceived answers in my head, probably things I wanted to hear. I might not have heard all of that, but at least having the conversation, having the interaction with him, having him respond, I feel much better now, and I believe that I've gotten some closure now, based on the conversation that we had. When my wife at that time, when she went in the hospital to deliver Elijah, I was very excited because I always wanted a boy child. I had 4 girls at the time, and I always wanted a boy. I remember every time one of my daughters was born, I would say, this is the boy now. And then after, it wouldn't be the boy. So Elijah now, I say, this time is the boy. Not knowing if it will be a boy or a girl. So I remember going to the hospital, and when I went and I asked the nurse for his mother, she was a bit apprehensive. She told me she was asking me to sit down. So I was wondering why did she want me to sit down. So she told me that before I see him sit down, she need to talk to me. So when we started to talk, she started to tell me that Elijah was born with some challenges. And she indicated to me that if I don't want him, that they'll put him in a home. I told her no. I said, this is my son. And whatever it is my son. So then she took me to see him. And I fell in love with him one time when I saw him. I did observe that he had some challenges, but at the time I didn't care about that. That was the boy that I always wanted. I wanted a boy child, and I finally got the boy child.
Can I remember up here? Yeah. Oh, the last time both of us came up here together was when I was pregnant with Elijah. Okay. You remember that? We were on that side up there taking pictures.
I would like people to know my family makes me happy. How they support me and take care of me, and my biggest challenge is shyness, and my biggest dream is I would like to become a manager for a wrestler or a wrestler.
Elijah is like any normal child. He does everything. He plays sports, football, cricket. We play video game together. He does beat me in video game. We play fight together. We go out together. We have a lot of fun. And he's a natural leader. So I'm very proud of Elijah. In spite of the physical challenges that he might have, I love him.
Elijah, I know he's going to be, wow. Elijah is a great young man. Elijah, pretty shy in public, but if really get to know this person, oh my gosh, he is like, I know he's going places, so I know he's going to make his mommy proud. He already is making his mommy proud and making his daddy proud.
One thing, my parent was very strict, or my mother was very strict, and she liked to beat. I try my best not to lash Elijah. I try to talk to him, and I try to encourage him to, do the right things. More talk than actually hitting it. Before, as a father, when I had my 3 daughters, and, 4 daughters, I wasn't really involved in their life. I was like an absent father, there but not really there. And because I spent plenty times in prison, and even when I did come out of prison, I was there, but I wasn't there. I wasn't involved in their life. I didn't really do much with them, didn't really go out with them. Wasn't really involved in their life and had a relationship with them. As a father, I was more like a disciplinarian. I was more strict. So when it's time for discipline, I'll be most vocal, correct them, probably share some licks. But then after that now, I just go back into my zone, and there wouldn't be much interaction, much talk. It was just about discipline and just about being strict and nothing about relationship. But now with Elijah, I'm not as strict as I used to be. I might talk to him stern and to get him to do what he's supposed to do, but licks and stuff, I don't lash him. And I try to be more interactive with him. I try to go out with him and to be involved in his life so that, he wouldn't be ashamed to tell me anything.
My favorite wrestler is John Cena because his motto is never give up.
By sharing my story, I would hope that people would give persons who have been involved in crime a chance. I remember that every time I come out of prison, it used to have a bet. It go last a month, it go last 5 months, it go last 6 months, and you end up back in jail. I think that society, or I would hope that my story will help society to realize that because a person lived a life of crime, it doesn't mean that they cannot change. A person can come out of prison and contribute positively to society. I would hope that this story would even help persons who are living a life of crime to show them that there is hope, that they could change, and that their life could be used to make a positive impact on society, that they could be accepted by society, you could get a good job, you could transition your life. I would hope that young people would see this story and would think twice about getting involved in a life of crime, because the life of crime is not what they're seeing. They might be seeing the bling, they might see the gangster with 2 and 3 girls, they might see them getting contracts, but that is not all that entails the life of crime. So I would hope that young people would see and think twice about entering into a life of crime.
To keep it up. That's a problem.
Pull. Pull, pull, pull. Pull it. Pull, pull. Ah, big flyer.
Which big flyer?
Hey, that isn't it?